Okay, so greetings everyone. So in this video, we will be discussing chapter 3, part 1 of MMW, which is all about problem solving and reasoning. Okay, so let's start. For the introduction, problem solving and critical thinking skills are the key component or goals of the K to 12 curriculum when we talk about mathematics. So how can we achieve problem solving and critical thinking is by giving you, okay, enough information, no, strengthening your skills and maximize it by exposing you to different non-routine word problems. Okay, so uh, according to Einstein, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we use when we create them. So basically, ang sinasabi ni Einstein dito is we think outside the box. Okay? Maging creative tayo sa pagsosolve ng mga problems. Hindi lang yung usual kung paano natin siya na-encounter, ganun din natin siya isosolve. Dapat daw is we think creatively in solving that problem. So the question is, what is a problem? Now, according to George Polya in 1965, a question or a situation is considered to be a problem if yung approach or yung method ng pagsagot nun is hindi pa natin alam. Okay. So it involves the application of imagination and existing knowledge that we know, okay, in a novel and unfamiliar situation. It means na ang isang situation daw ay makukonsider nating problem if hindi natin agad masasagot yung problem na yon or yung question na yon. So, a problem is defined as a conscious quest for some activity appropriate to achieve some clearly defined but not immediately accessible goal. Okay? So it's our journey or process to answer particular situation na hindi natin agad masasagot. Na kailangan pagdaanan muna natin yung process of applying our imagination and our stock knowledge about the situation para masagot natin siya. This is according to George Polya. Now, according to Henderson and Pingree in 1953, okay, so a problem is a situation in which a person wants something and does not know immediately what series of actions he or she can perform to achieve it. Okay, so Sean Feld in 1992 mentioned that again, it's Schoenfeld. So Schoenfeld. Okay. So according to him, that a mathematical problem is like any problems in life. Yung mga problema natin na na-encounter natin sa buhay. Na kung saan is we have difficulty attaining solutions for that problem. So sabi niya, if the solution or even the procedure is obvious, then it's no longer a problem. It's only a exercise or activity. So virtually all problems the students are asked to solve are bite-sized exercises designed to achieve subject mastery. Okay, so yung mga exercises daw or activities na binibigay sa inyo as a student is paunti-unting information para matutunan nyo yung isang bagay. This is according to Sean Feld. Okay, so in general, when we talk about problems, to summarize everything that Polya, Henderson, and Pingree, as well as Schoenfeld. In general, pag sinabi daw po natin na problem, it's a situation where there is an obstacle on what we have and what we want. Okay, so there is a process on obtaining the solutions based on the information that we've got or the ideas that we know about the situation. Okay, so this is the general definition when we talk about a problem. Now, the skill is problem solving. Okay, so your ability to make decisions, view, construct, model, and analyze difficult situation, as well as successfully communicating that solution is referred to as a problem solving. So kung makikita nyo po, hindi lang tayo dun sa process na ma-achieve natin yung sagot, but as well as communicating ano yung natutunan natin doon sa situation na yon, paano natin siya sinolve. That is what is problem solving skills all about. Okay, so in layman's term, it's your ability to overcome and remove obstacles so that you can achieve your goals. Okay, so ito yung process na paraan or process or paraan kung paano mo mariresolve yung isang bagay. Okay, so that's problem solving process. Now, there are two types of problems. Okay, so the first one is routinary or routine problems. So when we talk about routine problems, it stresses the use of sets of known prescribed algorithms to solve the problems. It means you have a known procedure like a formula, a equation, no? Kapag ganon, routinary problem na po yon. Okay? So the beauty of this approach is that it can be tested using paper and pencil. Okay? So, yun nga lang, kapag human problems ang pinag-usapan, medyo alanganin or hindi tugma ang routinary problems. Kasi nga, may equations ka. Ito usually yung mga problem solving na binibigay sa inyo sa mga exams. Solve for the value of x, solve for the velocity of the vehicle, and so on and so forth. Okay? So on the other hand, we also have non-routine problems or non-routinary problems. Kapag naman po non-routinary, it stresses the use of heuristics and often requires little to no use of algorithms. Okay. So pag sinabi nating heuristics, ang pinag-uusapan po natin is procedures or processes na pwede mong gawin. However, it will not guarantee you na that would solve the problem. Kumbaga, trial and error ang process natin kapag heuristics. Okay? So, yun po, no? So, it's a building a model and drawing a picture. Some of the basic problem heuristics. So, yung tagta-trial and error ka ng different methods, different techniques or strategies to solve the problem kapag non-routinary. Now, pag routine, meron ka ng set of formulas or algorithms na gagamitin. Now, under non-routinary, we have two types. We have the static non-routine and active non-routine. Okay? So, ano po ang difference? Kapag static non-routine, the problem is fixed. The goal is also fixed. Okay? Elements or known elements that are used to solve the problem. Okay? Example, solving a jigsaw puzzle. Wala ka namang gagamiting formula doon, pero itatry-try mo yung mga combinations ng puzzle kung saan siya mag-fit. Kasi yung goal mo is to mabuo yung jigsaw puzzle. Okay? So, yun po. No? So, either by classifying the colors, connecting the pieces according to the borders. Diba? Ganun yung ginagawa natin kapag jigsaw puzzle is tinatry-try natin kung saan sila mag-fit base dun sa shape ng puzzle o kaya dun sa color kung magmamatch yung mga color nila. Okay. So, yung problem is fixed. It means the problem is to complete the puzzle as well as your goal. Okay? Kapag active non-routine naman, okay, you may have a fixed goal. Okay? However, with changing elements, magbabago din yung goal mo. Kumbaga, nagiging nade-develop yung problem. Okay? Nade-develop na hindi lang ito yung magiging findings mo. Okay? Usually, ginagamit natin yung mga active non-routine problems in situational basis. Okay, let's say, um, let's say sa mga cases, no, sa mga kaso na at first, because of the evidences, sa tingin mo, ito yung reason nung case na yon. Okay? But as you go along on your findings and collecting evidences, nag-iiba yung situation, nag-iiba yung scenario, nagkakaroon ng development yung case. Okay? So, yung goal mo na i-prove na ito yung case, nag-iiba siya. Naiba siya kasi nga iba na yung situation. That is active non-routine. Okay? Again, kapag static, everything is fixed. Now, your goal and the problem are fixed. Kapag active, sa umpisa, ito yung goal mo, but as you gather information, nag-iiba na yung goal mo. Okay? So that is static and active. So next one are the benefits of problem solving. Now, if you were able to master the problem solving skills, okay, so or understanding problem solving can be a avenue or a platform for you to apply different concepts or different ideas. So binibigay namin yung mga worded problem na ito para ma-apply ninyo yung mga natutunan ninyo. Okay? Then, as a teacher, we would be able to identify kung sino ba sa inyo yung madaling makapick up and madaling magamit yung mga concepts na yon in new situations. Okay? It can make distinction among students with varied mathematical abilities. Ma-identify namin kung saang level ka na or ano yung mga abilities mo base dun sa mga problems na ibinigay sa inyo. It can be enjoying and interesting to learn mathematics because these are real life situations that you can relate with. Okay, so it gives variety of mathematical classes. It would enhance your critical thinking skills and creativity, no? And it can be a springboard for discussions of new learning. Example, you encountered or you and your classmates encountered the same problem. So, syempre, ikaw may sarili kang strategy or diskarte and your classmate has his own strategy. So, nakakapag-collaborate kayo na ako, ganito gagawin ko, then ganito yung ginawa ko. Nagkakaroon kayo ng discussions to learn new ideas. Okay? So, it will serve as a value for integration as well as it promotes cooperative learning. Na nakikipag-cooperate ka kay sa iba para lang ma-resolve mo yung issue or yung problem. So these are the benefits of problem solving. Now, for the topics under part 1 of chapter 3, we'll be discussing reasoning, if-then statements and its converses or yung kabaliktaran niya, and some proof. Okay? So reasoning. So when we talk about reasoning, it's a practice or it's a process of stating ideas clearly and precisely to arrive at a conclusion or a conjecture. Pag sinabi natin conjecture, this can be true or false based on the result or based on the information that we have. As well as when we talk about reasoning, it's a sophisticated capacity for logical thoughts and actions, okay? Such as analyzing the problem, providing and evaluating the situation, making explanation and justification, and some generalization. So when you reason out, there are always backup informations, no? Hindi lang basta-basta nagre-reason out ka para base sa kung anong iniisip mo. Okay? So we do reasoning based on the facts, based on the observed data that we have. Okay? Kaya nga ang sabi dyan is your drawing of inferences or conclusions from known or assumed information. In short, kapag nagre-reason out, hindi tayo marites. Hindi tayo kung ano lang yung nakita natin, yun na yun. So we try to investigate. We try to understand. Okay? Now, according to Zuela et al. In 2019, there are four kinds of reasoning. We have intuitions, analogy, inductive, as well as deductive reasoning. Okay, so this is according to Zuela et al. In 2019. So pag sinabi nating intuition, the first one, it's somewhat similar to guessing. Okay? Reasoning by guessing or reasoning by common sense. Okay? So it would require less mental activity. When we say an intuition, it's your ability to acquire knowledge without proof, evidence, or conscious reasoning, or even without understanding how the knowledge was acquired. Okay? So pag intuition, highly subjective yan eh. Okay? Different people think about problems in different ways. It is sometimes that is known as understood without proof of evidence. Okay? So when we say intuitions in Tagalog, ito yung feeling ko, pakiramdam ko, ganito siya. Okay, so kapag ganun yung naririnig mo, it means intuition yon. Okay? Sa palagay ko, ito yung situation. Sa palagay ko, ganito yung mangyayari. Intuition ang tawag natin doon. Okay? So let's have some examples. Okay? So based on your intuitions, which is bigger? The left side or the right side? So I think, no, sa palagay ko, yung right or left side, yung mas malaki compared doon sa left side or right side. Left is bigger than right based on my intuition. Another one, is this a dog or a panda? No. So if you're not familiar, you may think that this is a panda based on your intuition, but actually it's a dog. No. Third, is it a 6 or 9? So, yan. Again, lagi mo sasabihin, I think, feeling ko 6 yan. Feeling ko 9 yan. Okay, so that's your that will be intuition. Okay. Is this a duck or a rabbit? Uh, for me, it's a rabbit. But if you lean your head to the left, mukha siyang duck. Okay, but it's a rabbit. Okay, next one. The next type of reasoning is analogy. Okay, so you're making reasons by comparison. So when we talk about analogy, it's a form of reasoning in which other similarities are inferred a particular similarity between two things. Okay, it means na meron kang nakitang pattern dun sa isa. So, nung dumating yung other example is in-apply mo yung pattern na yon para masagot yung next question. Okay, so meron kang pinagkumparahan. Okay, example. Trees is to leaf as flowers is to petal. Okay, so yung mga puno is meron silang mga dahon. So kung ganun yung analogy mo, it means na yung mga flowers meron silang petals. Okay, so hammer to nail, comb to hair. Finding a good man is like finding a needle in a haystack. So may pinag-compare ka. Okay? Yung paghahanap mo kay Mr. Right is parang naghanap ka na rin daw sa isang haystack or alam niyo yan yung sa pagkatapos ng pagka-harvest ng rice, ng bigas or ng palay, yung natuyong palay is pinagsasama-sama nila. That is haystack. Okay? So these are some examples of analogy. Now, the third process about reasoning is inductive reasoning. So it is the process of gathering specific information, okay, usually through observation or measurement, and then making a conjecture based on the gathered information. Kumbaga, maghahanap ka ng mga specific information or data, then magge-generalize ka. So, inductive yon. So, when they say inductive, nag-add ka hanggang maging general. Okay, so your conclusions may be true or false, but based on your data or based on your gathered information kasi. Okay, so pwedeng totoo siya or hindi. Example, 1 is an odd number. 11 is another odd number as well as 21. So, if you will have a inductive, kung mapapansin mo, yung tatlong example are specific, and then generalize mo na since lahat ng numbers na yan nag-e-end sa 1, you generalize that all numbers that ends with 1 are odd number. Okay, so inductive. So, specific to general. Okay, next. Use inductive reasoning to predict the next number in each of the following. So let's have the first one, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. What would be the next number? Then letter B is 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. What will be the next number? So for the first one, pwede mong gawin or by observation, makikita mo na nag-i-increase ng 3. So you can say that the next number is 18. O kaya naman is you look for the difference between each numbers. 6 minus 3, 9 minus 6, 12 minus 9, 15 minus 12. So kung makikita mo, each successive number is 3 larger than the previous number. Then we can predict that the next number is 3 larger than 15, which is 18. So 3 plus 15 is 18. Now for the next one, by subtraction, no? 3 minus 1 is 2, 6 minus 3 is 3, 10 minus 6 is 4, 15 minus 10 is 5. So kung makikita mo, yung difference nila is adding 1. Okay? So sa tingin natin, based on this inductive, ang susunod na difference is 6. Okay? So dahil dyan, we can add 6 to the last number, which is 15, to get the next number, which is 21. Okay? So may nakita kang pattern. Specific. Then you generalize na ang pattern mo is ascending order, increasing by 1. Now, for the deductive, unlike inductive, you go with specific to generalize. Kapag deductive naman po is from general to specific. Okay? So the process of showing that a certain statement follows logically from agreed upon assumption and proven facts. Kaya na lang po nito. Um, oops. Every Filipino of age 18 and above can vote. So that's the general idea. Wendy Adams is 24 years old. So therefore, Wendy can vote. Okay? So yung general idea mo na lahat ng Filipino na age 18 at pataas ay pwedeng bumoto. Since Wendy is 24 years old, therefore Wendy can vote. Next one, pick a number, multiply the number by 6, add 8 to the product, divide the sum by 2, subtract 4 from the quotient. So kung gagawin po natin yan, ito yung magiging solution natin. So whatever number you're thinking, we represent it by n. And sabi niya dyan is multiply it by 6. So that will be 6 times the number. And then we add 8 after we multiply it by 6. Then we divide it by 2. Kaya po meron tayong 3n plus 4. Then subtract 4, you would get 3n. So the process is very general that if you choose any number, coming with the process, so magiging specific siya na kahit anong number ang piliin ninyo, no? Kapag dumaan tayo sa process na sinabi, ang makukuha natin is 3 times the number na naisip natin. Okay? So that's it for the inductive and deductive method. Now, for lesson 2 of chapter 3, the if-then statements and its converses. Okay? So let's have first the basic terms. So we have conditional statements. When we say conditional statements, these are statements consisting of hypothesis and a conclusion. Okay? So this is written as if and then or if then statements. Kumbaga, para may consequence. If ganito ang gagawin mo, then ito ang mangyayari sa'yo. So that's what we call a conditional. If the words if and then are on part of that particular sentence or statement, we call it conditional. Now, the if part is what we call the hypothesis. Okay, so it can be true or false. Pwedeng totoo siya, pwedeng false kasi nga if. Then the conclusion will either be the then part. Okay? Now, when we prove the hypothesis, or if the hypothesis is true, then that will be the conclusion, or that will be the situation. Okay? Then the converse is we reverse the if and then. Yung dating if magiging then, and then yung dating then magiging if. Okay, so yun lang po yung converse or yung kabaliktaran. So again, kapag conditional, it's the if and then statement. The if statements are the hypothesis and the then statements are the conclusions. Then we can have a converse or the reverse of the if and then. Okay. So let's have the first one. Transform the following statement into conditional statement. A segment has only 1 point. The second statement or the other statement is 2 lines intersect at only 1 point. Then statement number 3 is vertical angles are congruent. So our task here is to make a if and then statement to each of these sentences. Let's have the first one. A segment has only one midpoint. So kung gagawin natin siyang if and then statement, if a segment is given, then it has only one midpoint. So magiging hypothesis natin is a segment is given. And ang magiging conclusion natin is the segment has only one midpoint. So kumbaga in Tagalog, kung meron kang isang segment, then meron siyang midpoint or meron siyang gitna. Okay? So this is the first one. Pangalawa, two lines intersect at only one point. So if two lines intersect, they intersect at only one point. Two lines intersects for the hypothesis, and for the conclusion, lines intersect at only one point. Okay, if and then. Now, vertical angles are congruent. If two vertical angles are given, then they are congruent. So in short, kung meron ka raw dalawang vertical angle, then equal sila. So for the hypothesis, two angles are vertical or two vertical angles are given. Then for the conclusions, two vertical angles are congruent. Okay? So ganun lang po yung pagko-convert. So convert muna siya ng if and then we identify which is the hypothesis and the conclusion. So let's have few more. Now again, this time naman po is we look for the converse or yung kabaliktaran niya in terms of sino yung magiging if, sino yung magiging then, or ano yung magiging if, ano yung magiging then natin. So state the if and then forms of its and state its converse. So convert muna natin yung dalawang statement na to sa if and then pagbabalik-tarin natin sila. Okay, so the first statement is a line is a bisector of a segment if it intersects the segments at a given or at a midpoint. Next one is 3 points are coplanar if they are contained in the same plane. So ito yung ating first statement. Then the if and then statement will be if a line is a bisector of a segment, then it intersects the segment at the midpoint. Now for the converse, again, sabi ko nga po, yung if statement magiging then, and then yung then statement natin magiging if. Magpapalit sila ng pwesto. So, for the converse, if a line intersects as a segment at a midpoint, then the line is a bisector of the given segment. Okay? Next one. 3 points are coplanar if they are contained in the same plane. So yung tatlong points daw ay tinatawag nating coplanar kung nasa loob sila ng isang figure or isang shape. So if 3 points are coplanar, then they are contained in the same plane. Kung coplanar daw sila, then nasa loob sila ng isang figure. For the converse, if 3 points are contained in the same plane, then they are coplanar. Okay? So this is number 2. It's converse. Pagbabalik-tarin lang po natin sila. Okay? We also have what we call mathematical proof. Okay? So sa mathematical proof naman, before we proceed that, meron tayong tinatawag na biconditional statements. Okay? So kapag biconditional statements naman po, a biconditional statement is a statement that combines a conditional and its converse with the phrase if and only if. Okay, so biconditional daw ang tawag natin kapag it's the combination of the conditional and the converse. Kapag pinagsama natin sa isang statement yung conditional, yung if then at saka yung kabaliktaran niya, then we call it a biconditional statement. Lalo na kapag it contains the phrase if and only if. Okay? So, meron po tayo yan sa module. So, kindly read na lang po siya sa module. Na mathematical proof. Okay? So, one way to solve problems is making proof. Okay? So, uh, a proof are sequence of true facts. Okay? So, statements placed in a logical order. Okay? So, these are already proven. So, pwede na natin siyang magamit. Okay, so proofs can be in the form of the given information, no? Yung information na nandun sa problem can be considered as a proof, no? Pwede nating sabihin yung mga terms na based on the problem, ganito, ganyan yung mga given. Or it can be the definition of terms, yung mga meaning ng mga terms na ginagamit natin. We can use algebraic properties such as property of equality, property of inequality, postulates in geometry, as well as proven conjectures from previous processes. Okay, so these are some of the ways that we can do proving. No? Hindi na natin i-dealt with to dahil medyo marami yan, lalo na kung algebraic properties ang pinag-uusapan natin. Pero magagamit nyo itong mga to. Okay? Yung information na nasa problem o kaya yung mga definitions ng terms. If it's a mathematical problem, you can use algebraic properties as well as postulates and corollaries or even yung mga theorems na na-prove na dati. Pwede nating gamitin sila. Okay? So that concludes our chapter 3 part 1 discussion. Sa next video naman po, we will be discussing Polya's 4 steps in problem solving. So stay tuned lang kayo for the next lesson. Thank you so much and have a great day.